Fifth KLPGA Championship from beautiful Lakewood Country Club in Yangju City. We're in the northwest corner of Korea, only 28 kilometers north of the capital at the host venue of the KLPGA Championship for 3 straight years from 2018 to 2020. We're back at Lakewood, and unfortunately, well, so is the weather. Play was halted about an hour ago. Not so much electrical activity in the area that was giving the players some bother, more of some soggy greens, waterlogged greens. The maintenance crews here at Lakewood have been hard at work trying everything to squeegee them dry and get them fit for moving day action from the first major championship of the 2023 season. Halfway cut fell at 1 over par at the end of 36 holes. 61 players continuing their trek around Lakewood this week in search of a lion's share of the 1.3 billion Korean won prize purse. Ji Han-sol, one of those players to safely negotiate the opening stanza of this championship. And yes, the rain is still falling at Lakewood. Timothy Lowe here, so glad you could join us for what promised to be a fascinating bit of action from moving day here at the KLPGA Championship. But for the moment, not much golf going on. I understand players will be shuttled out to the golf course in about 5 minutes time or so. Play will resume at 1:30 local time at the bottom of the hour. This is some action from earlier today. Song Ga-eun, 2-time winner on the KLPGA Tour, Rookie of the Year back in 2021. He opened with a 4 under par round of 68 on day one, but fell back quite a bit with a 75 yesterday. There wasn't too much to smile about for the diminutive South Korean. Went wire to wire last year at the Daibo House D Championship to pick up a second KLPGA Tour crown. Ga-eun was in the company of Lee Shu-ying and Jang Eun-soo. Eun-soo started the day at 1 under par like Ga-eun, but off the straight and narrow here at the first. And the first is a par 5, so it has ample time. Okay, it's really going to put a premium on good driving, accurate iron play, and we've seen these greens pose some problems for the players. Not so much the pace of them. Yes, they are a little bit slower than they look. A lot of players sort of befuddled by the breaks around these greens as Lee Shu-ying gets set to play. So a lot of head scratching looks, a lot of very badly read putts, and when you're in this wet, sort of zoysia rough, it really makes it very challenging to say the least. So conditions are rather challenging on Saturday for the KLPGA Championship. Again, we're watching some action from earlier today as we're still currently in a weather delay. Players should be making their way out onto the golf course in a couple of minutes or so, getting back into position to resume their third rounds. 3 groups still yet to tee off here for day 3, including your championship leader Park Gae-yeol, Lee So-mi. 3 players, 1 under par in this group. Han Ji-won and Kim Hee-ji rounding out this 3 ball. And So-mi's really become a fantastic player over the last 2 years or so, picking up a pair of wins in both 2021 and 2022. Both her wins last season coming in back-to-back weeks. Opened with a level par 72 on Thursday. One better yesterday. And really at only 6 back. Still very much be considered in the title picture, provided she gets a decent sort of sub-70 round out there today. No stranger to playing in damp conditions, tough conditions. When she won Lotte Rent-A-Car Ladies Open at the start of 2021, it was challenging at Sky Hill in Jeju. But you'll need to do that quite a lot if you want to enjoy your trek round this course that plays just over 7,000 yards. Kim Hee-ji, third full season on the KLPGA Tour. Still yet to win, but has certainly contended a fair amount over the last 24 months. 71 on day one, level par 72 yesterday for Hee-ji. She too finds the fairway. Opportunity for Andrew Won to test her mettle. Weekend of a major championship, just on the fringes of contention. Three pretty good ways to start the day. All three players from this group safely down the fairway as they get their third rounds started. Rather gloomy conditions Saturday afternoon in Yeongju City. We saw the poor layup from Jang Eun-soo after a problematic tee shot, still in the rough and still a pretty long way back. 170 meters left. The pin today smack in the middle of the green, so that does make this a little easier. Yeah, that's very nicely done indeed. Won Rookie of the Year in 2021. She did it in some style. It was a terrific three-way battle with Kim Hee-ji and Kim Jong-min. Three of them trading that top spot on the Rookie of the Year points race for most of the season before Song Ga-eun got her breakthrough in emphatic fashion at Poching Adonis Golf Club at the Hana Financial Group Championship, taking down that time number 2 Minji Lee in a 3-hole playoff. That's a smother pull to the left for Ga-eun. It's not really conditions that favor Song. A bit damp, all carry, has a pretty low flat ball flight, doesn't pop it out there too far, so she might find the going a little bit challenging here on Saturday. Lee Shu-ying. And Sue going to be coming out of that left rough. It's going to be tricky to keep everything dry. This is one of those days where you certainly don't envy the caddies. They're trying to keep their player dry, the clubs dry, the gloves dry, and themselves dry at the same time. And you see, it's certainly the breeziest it's been all throughout the week. Again, you are watching early round action from day 3 as play set to resume in about 20 minutes' time. Plays a very nice shot there, Lee Shu-ying. Chinese Taipei, but He's found a home out here on the KLPGA Tour. Just takes that ridge and feeds off a touch. Jong lead off the mixed group here. Again, tee times this morning were delayed by about an hour due to wet conditions on the golf course as players arrived at Lakewood. And unfortunately, another delay has us behind schedule. Clearly just a layup here, 294. Important to find the fairway from Heiji. G1. Ready to go. Left clean in place for the players this week. Years of age on G1, rookie on the KLPGA Tour this year. He's only missed one cut so far, and that came at the first event of the year on Jeju Island, but hasn't recorded a finish better than 45th, and that came last week at Gimhae Gaya. Got green to work with, but has a little ridge to negotiate. It's going to move right as it gets over that, and then start to gather a bit of pace as it approaches the cup. Very nicely played indeed from Ga-eun. Last to go. So me. It's almost Open Championship-esque conditions. Greet the players today. Rainy, overcast, a bit breezy. It's not a links golf course. You do have some very thick rough scattered around the mountain and forest nines at Lakewood. Going to be a relatively slow putt up and over the rise here for Jung and Soo. Ga-eun's will want to peel a little right. All too familiar scene this week. It's coming up well short. Sui Jong's getting ready to get her third round underway. You have to say the player who's going to prevail best today is not only the one with the best attitude, but sort of physical attribute-wise, they have to be pretty good ball strikers. Obviously, some of the higher ball hitters, the higher trajectory players are to be favoured with these damp conditions. You're not going to get any release on these fairways. It's the one who can sort of crack the riddle of these greens the best early doors, who will certainly make a big move on Saturday as Xu Ying's putt just wiggles a little right. The pace will be key on these greens. So a lot of putts coming up 4, 5, sometimes even 6 feet short. And I'm not talking about 80 footers, I'm talking about 35 footers sometimes. And the moisture on the surface isn't going to do anything to make that task any simpler. Case in point right here, Jung and Soo from the front section of the green. Only get it to here, now has this 8-foot slider. Just receive confirmation that we will get third round action resumed in about 15 minutes time. And in the meantime, you're watching earlier action from the early starters here on day 3 at the 45th KLPGA Championship. And whoever lifts the trophy at the end of play tomorrow evening is going to be the one who's made the least unforced errors. Did well to recover after an awkward tee shot and a poor second. It's going to be a 6 on the card and an early drop shot for Jung and Soo at the opening hole. Lim Hee-jung in the company of Si-hee Lee and Lee Ji-hyun 3. Three players in this group also at under par. Just turning that one over a touch, but it's going to find some of that rough. Reigning Korean Women's Open champion, 5-time winner on tour. One of those games that would be suited to these tough conditions. A lot of power, a lot of height. Normally a brilliant iron play, although she did struggle with her iron game on Friday. Lee Ji-hyun 3, for the first time in her career, successfully kept her card on the KLPGA Tour last season. A late top 10 finish at the Wemix Championship at El Penzia, going a long way to saving her a trip to Q School. The umbrellas are out, but good to see so are the crowds. Remember, Park Gael leads by 1 heading into the weekend, backing up her 67 with a fine round of 70 yesterday. So John will just pop that one down the fairway. Very interesting to see how things transpire for the leaders, because remember, the last 3 groups have yet to tee off for this third round. So go ahead to the green, and Han Ji-won just short of it with her third. Trying to chase this one up the back step. Oh wow, got that one to razz pretty quickly. Sometimes you see that, just get a little bit of moisture on these greens. They check up really fast, but sometimes it almost aquaplanes and it goes scuttling on through. Now Eun-soo trying to bounce back from that early drop shot. This is a birdie look at 2, albeit from a good 75 feet away. Oh, and a much better putt there. Brilliant judge of pace. Not easy to do on these slopey, slow greens. A steady par at the second to keep Jung and Soo at even. Now back to the first. Just a slight downhill putt here, moving a fraction left for Hee-ji. Here's a chance for an early birdie. hard enough. So off the straight and narrow. And down in the left rough for Seahee. She's got a hybrid out, so it must be a decent enough line. Well done. Back out in play. That's what you got to do when you're in the rough here. Just take your medicine, given the conditions. Now, Gaeun Song. 22 years of age. This will be a nice way to kick off the round. Good tee shot to this point on 2. Should move a little right. Pace looks good. And the line to match. Well, that's going to be the first birdie of the day. There goes to Song Gaeun. It's up and down from the tee box. Moves inside the top 20. Putt now. Now, 3-2 gonna drop an early shot there. Kim Hee-ji. 1-1, excuse me. Going to be an early bogey. It's going to slip her back to even par. Again, this is action from earlier on this Saturday afternoon, the Saturday morning in Korea, I should say. Good news is players are shuffling back out into their positions on the golf course for the resumption of play, which will come in just over 5 minutes' time. Former Korean Women's Open champion and Kim Ji-hyun playing alongside a 3-time major titleist and 16-time tour winner Park Min-ji. And a dozen of those have come in the last 2 years. Kim Woo-jong, who rounding out this group. Min-ji, the only player in this group that starts the day at 1 under par. Both Ji-hyun and Woo-jong at 2 under. First to go will be Woo-jong. Turn 25 years old next week. First turned pro back in 2016. Got a KLPGA Tour card in 2019. Kept her playing privileges. 8th on the Rookie of the Year points race that year, but that was certainly a stacked one. Hee-jong, Cho Ah-yeon. Runner-up in the 2021 KLPGA Championship to a certain Park Hyun-kyo. So no stranger to showing up in the big events. 28th last year at Il-dong Lakes. Kim Ji-hyun. 17 Korean Women's Open champion. 31 years of age. 59th on last year's money list. Hasn't had a top 40 finish yet in 2023. What can we say that hasn't already been said about Park Min-ji? Remember, just had the 4 titles to her resume to start 2021 and then went on an absolute heater. In 2021 she was one of only 3 players who won back-to-back titles on the KLPGA Tour. She was responsible for 2 of them. Women's Open champion 2021. And the Height Jinro last year. The KB Financial Group Star Championship. 3 legs done in the career Grand Slam for Park Min-ji. This is one of the ones she's missing. She cannot be discounted. These are live pictures you're seeing right now of Lakewood. Good news is the greens have dried up. The rain appears to have abated. There's going to be a new element to challenge these 61 survivors of the cut mark. That flag whipping in the breeze should tell you everything you need to know. It's getting gusty out there. It's going to be a real war of attrition this afternoon on moving day. How will Park Gi-yeol handle the pressure? How will she handle the moment? Chasing a first major title. He's already back out in position. Expecting the hooter to go in just a couple of moments' time. You see there in the front, 2-time back-to-back champion Park Hyun-kyung. Will be starting off her day momentarily. So for the second time today, we've been in a stoppage, but there is light at the end of the proverbial tunnel. Play scheduled to resume and get back underway for day 3 of the KLPGA Championship in just about 2.5 minutes' time. The good news, the hooter has gone. Play back underway here on day 3 at the KLPGA Championship. These ladies were supposed to be teeing off at 11:38 local time. It's almost 2 hours after that, just past 1:30 as Lee So-young gets set to start her 3rd round. She begins the weekend at 5 under par. And for these last 3 groups who really haven't been so much affected by the weather delay or the stoppage in play, I have to say there's a bit of an advantage there because it's just like you've got a slightly later tee time. It's not like you're out on the golf course and you've got to come back to a 7-iron over water or a bunker shot or an 8-foot putt. It's just like you're starting a round all over again. And the rookie, Shin Sil, so much expected of this supremely talented 18-year-old. Is it hitting left? Looks like it. Ooh, well left, but gets a nice kick out of the trees. She'll obviously be able to get relief from that cart path. And it took a 4-putt double bogey from all of, what was it, 10, 12 feet at the 18th yesterday. And still right there in the mix, only 2 back. Now Park Hyun-kyung. Of this championship in back-to-back years, 2020, 2021. Only 1 bogey on the card yesterday for Cutiful. And she will join Lee So-young down the middle of the fairway. So round 3 back underway, slightly delayed, but the important thing is we're golfing again here at Lakewood. Year 1. Further up the hole, and the 3rd shot now to this par 5. As I mentioned earlier, this pin pretty much smack in the middle of the green. Just at the top side of a little rise. So important to carry that mound. Should get a lot of spin on this one. Just sort of skips along a little bit, but that's fine for year 1. Last year's Rookie of the Year, winner of the first event of this year on Jeju Island. Looks to be Kim Min-byul here. Another very impressive rookie. It's a 6-iron for Min-byul. And it just finds the front left quadrant of the green. And alongside Choi Ye-bon and Sung Yoo-jin. 4 under par, Yoo-jin at 3. That's a bit of a poor shot, really. Leave her a really sluggish putt up that slope. Back up to the 2nd. Turned pro early last year. Kostania won the NH Ladies Championship at Seowon Valley against Park Min-ji that week. Top 3 there for her. 2019 Rookie of the Year, Cho Ah-yan. Pars around for all 3 players in match 13. A bit like the first hole, pin on the 2nd, pretty much in the middle of the green. It's 8 from the left edge. It's a very gettable flagstick. Trying to turn a low little draw into this whole location. And she's done a pretty good job of that. We'll get a cheeky line read off Hwang Yo-min's putt as well. Back down on the first fairway. So-young. Very powerful player. Generates so much speed. Great use of the lower body and the ground reaction forces to get maximum speed. Now Shin-sil saw the ball clatter in to some branches and twigs. Kicked back onto the cart path, but she will have to get relief to the left of that path, or right of where her ball is on our screen from our angle. Just going to leave her a bit of an awkward hanging lie. She just confirms that where she wants to drop it. Lee So-young not going to waste any time with this layup. Back in the winner's circle in 2022 after 3 years with her win at the Diawenia MBN Ladies Open. Tidy stuff. Hien Kyung talked about it briefly yesterday, but she is on quite the run as far as cuts made. Didn't miss one all of last year. You have to go all the way back to June of 2021 for the last time she did not play the weekend in a KLPGA tournament. That was the only cut she missed of last season. She's only missed one cut in 2.5 years. I mean, that is staggering consistency from the 4-time tour titleist. Shinsil, it's the nearest point of relief. It's a club length from that. Nearer the hole. And that ball is in play. I always like starting on a par 5 because you just don't feel under so much pressure. You know there are scoring opportunities if you hit 3 good shots and leave yourself a decent look. And this is a look. I don't know whether it's a decent one. Up this rise, moving to her right. It looked a little low all the way. Choi Ye-bon. Just looking up, I don't think she's going to have any trouble from those overhanging limbs. Just trying to poke this one back in play. The crowd certainly liked it, and for good reason. Nicely played from, well, a tricky little spot for the 18-year-old low amateur in the Korean Women's Open back in 2021. Now, Ye-won ahead at the green. Like it's a putt that wants to go a little right at the start, then maybe wants to come back left at the end, or certainly straighten out a bit. Just kept peeling right. Great effort though for Ye-won. Looks so good since she joined the KLPGA Tour at the start of last year. Got it via winning the Dream Tour money list in 2020 off the back of 3 wins. Hwang Yo-min for her birdie at 2. Kim Min-byul, excuse me. Oh, that one's got a hustle. It's got a hustle. Just running out of steam and falling off low. Talk about impressive rookies. This young lady has not finished outside the top 10 in all 3 starts this year. Now, Sung Yoo-jin, of last year's Lotte Championship at Bears Best in Cheongna, where he'll return in about 2 months' time. Oh yes, well done. We'll see if Choi Young's learned anything from Min-byul's putt. It's going to fall off low as well for Ayan. You know, it's just one of those days where you take even par, 1 under, you feel that's going to certainly make up some ground on the rest of the field. I expect scoring conditions to be a little bit tougher today than they were in the first pair of rounds at Lakewood. Back on the tee in the penultimate group, ready to start their afternoon's work. With defending champion Kim Lim, Choi Ye-rim, who's finally a winner of the KLPGA Tour, and Son Ye-bin. Ye-rim, the only player at 6 under par in the penultimate group, courtesy of back-to-back 69s. The player in the field this week who's managed to post 2 rounds in the 60s thus far. Saw a lot in our opening round coverage, hit plenty of very, very good golf shots. More of the same today, the 24-year-old. The Kim Lim fan club is certainly braving the elements to watch the 27-year-old star this afternoon. Winner of the US Women's Open. Just 3 KLPGA Tour titles and 1 major. This one, 12 months ago. Defending champion in the title picture once again in 2023. Not going to find the short stuff. Venture up the fairway with the 3rd shots upcoming. Player that was really quite badly affected by the COVID pandemic. It's such a good run going and really struggled to find some form after the extended break due to the global pandemic. To see that things are slowly getting back to normal, if not almost normal by now. She didn't look too pleased with it, and I can't understand why, because that is an absolute dart into the first green. This is Hwang Yo-min, and this is for birdie. The 2nd. Oh, just going to hang a little high for Hwang. From the number 3 amateur in the world. Before turning pro mid last year. Hyun Kyung. Carry it to the top step. That she does. It's just something we've come accustomed to seeing from this young lady. So good with wedges. Doesn't really make many mistakes in the golf course. She's not one that's going to beat herself up. She's a player that you expect is going to be in contention pretty much every time she sticks a peg in the ground. Now, Shin-sil, after that nice recovery. She generates some clubhead speed. Very impressive action and 3 excellent shots into the opening hole with this 3-ball. To the 2nd. Sung Yoo-jin, after for that birdie at the first with the honour here. Just 8 from the left edge. It's pretty generous and very attackable. She's been hitting some very good iron shots into the first 2 holes. That's right about the range she held her putt for birdie on the first from. Garden song. Number 1 out in the first group this morning. So already at par 5, 7th. She's 2 under on the day. 3rd shot in. Pins in the front right. And like Hyun Kyung, not a long goal, not a long hitter, but deadly with wedges. I mean, she really wore down Minji Lee in that playoff at Pochin Adonis 2 years ago for that Hana Financial Group Championship, biggest tournament she's won in her career. Tell you that is not Songarten, as we just saw her hit a couple of moments ago. That's an okay layup down the first for Son Ye-bin. Second to last group of the ENG Championship. It does pinch in a little bit where players will be laying up, and that's just going to roll into the rough. It's okay, it's only a short iron in from there, but it's just coming out that rough makes it all that more unpredictable. Last year when she won the KLPGA Championship, is the longest driver in the field by some margin. And in these damp conditions, length and speed, power is a huge advantage. Is it going to feed back on the fairway? No, not quite. So only Son Ye-bin on the fairway for her layup at 1. Yerim and A-Lim off the straight and narrow. So up on the green, first of the 3 birdie looks. Shin Sil. Oh yes, rolls that one in confidently. And that makes it 4 players at 6 under. Contenders stacking up behind Park Gi-yeol, the championship leader. He'll be teeing off very, very shortly now. Lee Ye-won ahead at 2. So up the hill and moving gently to her right. Had the pace and had a pretty good line on it as well. You don't mind those. You like to think those are fairly manageable for top-class professionals, even though there's no such thing as a gimme in the professional game. So 1 birdie in at the first. Hyun Kyung to match to get to 5 under. Just want to go a little left at the cup. The other way on her. It's just going to be a par. But again, she's an experienced campaigner. She'll take comfort from the fact that, yes, there was a good opportunity there for birdie. But pars are your friend on days like this. Temperatures sort of in the mid-teens right now. With no sun to warm these players up, it's going to be a long and cold afternoon. So Eugene for back-to-back birdies. Just carrying a little bit too much speed, and now that's just an uncomfortable little one left. So young. Not much in this. Maybe just right edge. Start at right edge and stays right edge. A couple of pars for So Young and Hyun Kyung. Shin Sil with her early 4. Makes it 4, just one back. So going to keep going. Here's Sung Yoo-jin at 2. These kind of putts you want to attack and have an attacking mindset anyway. Just hit them a little bit firmer with more pace. Try and take some of that breakout inside right edge. Yeah, nicely hold. Good comebacker for Sung Yoo-jin. Keeps her 1 under for the day. So who's going to be first to play here? Looks like it's Choi Ye-rim. Well, nestled down just a little bit. Only way to get this close, really try and fire it into that upslope. Take a bit of sting out, have it release on to that back level. Just need a little bit more room. Not too bad though. Could have the up and over that rise putt as the final group of moving day gets set to begin their trek around the Lakewood Country Club course. Mountain outward half, forest inward 9, opened in 1971. For the 4th time in its storied history, hosting the major championship, the KLPGA Championship. Park Gale on the tee, leading the major championship for the first time in her career. Never easy to sleep on the lead. How are those nerves feeling? That'll settle her right down. That is absolutely piked for Park. Lee Daeyeon. 68 yesterday. Got her into the picture. 25-year-old. 6 tour titles. 2 majors to her credit as well. She's had some struggle with injury over the last year or so. Fighting fit, healthy, and dangerous, especially with her experience. Han Jin-seon. Like Park Gale, just the 1 title on Jin-seon's resume. Last year's Haiwan Resorts Ladies Open champion. See that flag fluttering just behind the tee box. This first hole playing into the breeze and off the right a bit. No one's going to be able to get home in 2. Even if you let them peg another driver up in the fairway. So everyone in this field just has to play this as a 3-shotter. Gets a friendly little roll into the first cut of rough. So all 61 players out on the golf course. All rounds in progress for moving day. Weathers has interrupted play twice this morning. But we're finally off and running on day 3. Now A-Lim. Slight hanging lie here with the ball below her feet, but the lie's good. That's a smart play there. Just get onto that back level of the green. A slightly easier putt than the two playing partners from the front section. Shinsil looking to build on that momentum. Remember on Thursday morning, she was 3 over par after 2 holes. And birdied 5 in a row to end her day, coming home in 30 to post a share of the opening round leader, 67. That's the best shot we've seen into 2 all afternoon. Yeomin ahead at 3. Front of the green, just 8 from the front edge. Oh, it's a shame. She's hit that 9. That's a stunning shot from Hwang Yeomin. So young. His left pin sets up nicely for that little pat draw she likes to hit. Pretty good. It's going to pale in comparison to Bang Shin Sil's, but that's a very nice tee shot. Slow one for Son Yibin. Up this rise, moving a little right. I want to try and squiggle left at the end, but it's going to be slow nonetheless. Hello. Oh, good roll. But not to be. Hyun Kyung comes in with a much flatter ball flight than the other two. It shouldn't release quite as much over these soft surfaces. These three have been peppering pins early doors here. There's a reason why they're in this position on the leaderboard. Another 3 great looks to come for this group. There's Choi Ye Rim, who sets to go at the first. To club this one to get up that rise. It's not a putt that gets away from her once it crests that ridge, so can be a little bit more aggressive than usual. The player flummoxed by the flat stick. So just the layup for Han Jun-seon. That'll be first cut of rough. Grab a piece of the fairway. Yes, it is. Lim. Slightly downhill to start, then slightly back up towards the end. Predominantly, I want to move to one left. Was tracking. It's only a par. Steady 5 to start the weekend for the defending champion. 2 adrift. 35 holes to play. Hanging lie here, so I'm going to start this one a little bit left and just let it drift back. Got traces to believe. She might have just turned that over a touch. Yeah, but just in that first cut, the lie looks pretty good from where that camera angle is. Could be as good as being in the fairway. Jiang. At the halfway stage for Jiang. Having a very poor afternoon. 3 over through 5. And a chance to get one back after that fine shot into the 6th. He's at 2, 3, and 5, slipping her in the wrong direction. Dion. 2019 Korean Women's Open champion, 2021 Hanwha Classic champion. Poor layup there. You see there's still a little bit of water that hasn't fully drained off in that right rough. A little puddle you could see about 15 yards right of Dion's ball as we go up to 2, and Lee So-young's birdie look. Is it going to stretch? Is it going to stretch? She's yet to cut the first 2 holes, but no ground made for Lee So-young. Now, Song Ga-eun is putting together a pretty tidy 3rd round. Playing this shot into the 8th. And 29 left, pin 7 from the left. And takes a bit of a soft bounce and just hangs up short, but no problems there. After that wonderful shot, Yeomin, she has shed the pink sweater. Should just be a formality to tap this one in for birdie. Get to 4 under, and she does. Pink ring gear goes back on. It's just been a sort of on and off drizzle. It's covered Lakewood for the most part of this 3rd round. Sanjin Seon gets ready to attack this first green. Quite a long ways back though. It's just going to hang up in the fringe. It's okay, but she's got that little ridge to contend with. Now Hyun Kyung. Downhill slider. Slides that one in the left door. Hyun Kyung to 5 under par. Bit of a clumsy layup here for Lee Daeun. You can see her just looking around that lone tree in the right rough. She went with a lot of club in hand, but that ball's just nestled down a little bit in this wet, sticky rough. It's always uncomfortable, even though you know where the flag is with an iron in hand. You just can't visually see the target as you stand over the ball at your address. The target is somewhere there. That's bang on line for Lee Daeun. Shin-sil to start her Saturday in terrific fashion. It's a tie for the lead at 7 under. Bang Shin-sil got 3 over through these 2 holes on Thursday. She started with a pair of birdies on Saturday and now ties this lady at the top of the leaderboard. Giol now, her 3rd into the 1st. It's a little bit careless. It's a green in regulation, but it's no gimme 2 putt for Park Giol. Jung to find a first birdie of the day and try to steady the ship. This doesn't quite look sharp this week, has she, Lim Hee Jung? Her floor is so high, even her bad days still are decent efforts, but this is a bit of a rough start to the weekend for the Korean Women's Open champ. Just short of the green here. Sung Yoo-jin at the third. Takes an unlucky kick off the fringe. Seen a couple of good shots into the second hole already from the 3-ball ahead. She's hit some great iron shots this week, has Choi Yerim. That's just a safe one to the middle of the green at this par 3. So Jin Seon. Looks like she's playing this left of center in her stance, so trying to sort of float one a little bit higher with less spin, land softly and trickle out down this slope. Excellent technique, very good touch. Close to adding a second major title to her resume last week at the Chevron Championship, 4th place finish. Just behind Lilia Vu at the LPGA's opening major of the season. Oh, another flag-finding tee shot at 2, although it just releases on a bit. Give me a limb, certainly swing of the club. As good as we've seen it in a while on the KLPGA Tour. Now Gael, be happy to nudge this one up within 2.5 feet. It's got to go. It's got to go. It's trying. It's not bad. And that is going to give us a good insight to her frame of mind at this early stage the weekend as we quickly go ahead to Sung Yoo-jin's par putt at 3. Steady start with that birdie at 2. You don't want to give it back straight away. Unfortunately, she's going to. It's going to be a 5-2-5 start for Sung Yoo-jin. Now, Hwang Yo-min, fresh off her birdie, up the 3rd, out of the right rough into the back pin on 4. It's only 5 paces from the back edge. And that means it's not going to be too far away from a makeable chip. She's only going to have about 18 feet or so. Could chip that, could putt that. It's pretty flat, that section. Dayon to make it a 3-way tie. Looks like a fairly straight putt. Maybe just inside left. Drops in the inside left. And there's 3 at 7 under. Lee Dayon joins Bao Shin-sil and Park Gi-yeol, who still has a par-saving putt to come. They're making moves on moving day very early in this round as Hyun-kyung looks to do the same. Yerim looks to do the same here at 2. Start breaking, start breaking. Oh, they're going in now. Hang on a minute. 4 players at 7 under par. It was Park Geol about 5 minutes ago. Shinseal's birdie at 2. Dion's birdie at 1. And Yerim's 2 at the second. All 4 players deadlocked at 7 under. So Young 2 shots further back. Coming out of the right rough on 3. No green to work with on this angle. To have to cover that big greenside bunker short right. Does well there. So this was going to give us a good insight into her frame of mind. Park Geol to save a par for a 2-putt at the first. An early slip for Park Geol. 3-putt bogey. Started the hole with a solo lead. She's now going to find herself one back of 3 players. Malin can't get one to drop at 2, despite almost jamming it in the cup with her tee shot. Can she continue this hot start? Birdies at 1, 2. Oh, she's given herself another look at 3. How's that for an opening salvo from the 18-year-old? Three-putt, bogey 6. Slips Park Geol to 6 under. It is a very, very tiny stance here. It's over the practice putts for Kim Lim. Certainly does its trick. Gino, she's been in this position before in the biggest stages in the women's game. It's just a war on attrition. It's just about patience and being there when it matters most. 72nd hole Sunday afternoon. Dion, after that dream start, will have the honour on the second tee. Usually plays a fairly limited schedule. Rarely do you see her tee it up more than 20, 22 times in a year. See a lot of these girls play 27, 28, 29, even 30 events. Had 33 events last season on the KLPGA Tour. Dion missed almost a third of them.
Okay, good shot.
Someone reckons it's a good shot, and someone was right. That's pretty good. Sion. Tall, lanky, 22-year-old. This time she's really tangled in a major championship on the weekend. She's had 2 top 10s in majors in her career. One of the biggest events in South Korea on the KLPGA Tour, the Hana Financial Group Championship, was in the final group Sunday, alongside Hong Jung-min and eventual winner Kim Soo-ji. Good safe shot to the heart of the second green. Park Geol bounce back from that really frustrating start. And what you don't want to do is try to force the issue, particularly this early in the round. Stick to that game plan and give yourself a reasonable look for birdie. 20, 25 feet right, pin high. Take your chances there. You don't go trying to sling a big draw into this left hole location, miss it left, and when you bring another bogey into play, then you could start a tailspin early. Punchy, abbreviated follow through, trying to squeeze one in. And that's much better, although she's got a putt over that little mound that's going to move the ball hard from left to right, but it's safely on the dance floor for the overnight solo leader. So Young, look at the amount of break she's allowing for here. Will swing very hard left to right. That was just a tentative stroke. I said this was makeable. Expect this to at least scare the edge of the cup for Hwang Yo-min. Oh no, that's, if she gets it there, it's barely got it 2/3 of the way. For 3 in a row, Bang Shin-sil. How's that move left at the cup? The run of birdies comes to an end for Bang. Certainly riding high confidence-wise. Oh dear. That is a very sloppy bogey for the 19-year-old. So day 3 action underway here at Lakewood Country Club, and already moving day living up to its billing. The overnight lead of Park Geol evaporated. Shin-sil with back-to-back birdies to start. Yerim and Dayon with early birdies. The 3 of them lead. Jin-seon and Geol back at 6 under. Hyun-kyung with an early birdie as well. Joins the defending champion A-lim and So Young at 5 under par here on day 3 at the KLPGA Championship. Good to have your company this Saturday afternoon. Seen a couple of putts from this spot on the second green. It's going to go a little bit right for Han Jin Seon. Just going to tail off on the low side. Good pace. The third and Choi Rim. From this right side, you're coming over that deep bunker. Just want to look at a little bit long of anything. Good sensible shot. Pin high left. Excellent look at birdie. Over that little mound, moving to her right. Okay, should settle her down. Decent angle here from the left half of the third. See that second shot plays almost a club longer uphill. Just like she did at 2, straight over the top of the stick. Dion. Quite as severe of a mound to deal with as Gale's, but it still will have an influence on this putt. That's on a nice line. That's on a great line. Lee Dion matching the start of Bang Shin-sil, and Dion hits the front of the leaderboard at 8 under par. Year one. Second into 4. Back pin position. You don't really want to go long. You want to be right there. That should be a kick-in birdie for Lee Year one. That should take her to 4 under par. How about that start from Lee Dion? My word. 3, A-Lim. Downhill left to right slider for the 27-year-old. It's got a chance. It's got a chance. Oh. Well, we expected she was going to be in the mix on the weekend, and she is not disappointing us. Opens her account at the third. Goes within 2 of Lee Dion's target. She's cruising right now. Dion. Again, want to hug the left half of this fairway to give you the optimal angle into this front right pin. It's just going to find the right half of the fairway, but that's okay. Again, premium on good driving and good ball striking today in these damp conditions. Some Eugene for her birdie at 4. All right, 2 birdies against a bogey. It's back to 4 under. Choi Rim. I thought the conditions were going to be tricky. cold, wet and windy. The wind's abated and it's actually turned into a bit of a birdie fest early days here. The body language said it all there. Target rim. He wanted to get to 4 under after that sparkling second. Never in doubt. Writer for Cho Ayan to hopefully start a bit of a birdie blitz of her own at the 5th. It's carrying some pace. Don't think it's going to swing back from there. I've seen more putts missed by a substantially wide margin this week than I have in the last 2 years of commentating on the KLPGA Tour. Bang Shin Sil. At 4, so you can get a lot of spin in these wet greens, but that first bounce usually is still pretty big. Just have to allow for that. I want to pitch this next to the hole, maybe 8 yards short, one big hop and pull out the string. Yep, just like that. Pretty good from Shin Sil. 1Q school at the end of 2022 to lock up playing privileges for this 2023 season. Close to that drainage cover, but not going to get relief from it because it's not actually impeding her golf swing. If anything, it's one of those sort of psychological things where you feel, oh gosh, I got to drop, this would be so much simpler. And a slight burnt out bit of fairway, but it's going to be very damp near that collection area, so important to get a good strike on this one from 127. Picked it clean. And gets a nice kick forward. That's more like it from Park Gaol. In place, in effect, for this second round, and I completely understand it. Of course, was waterlogged this morning and for most of last night. So looks like it's maybe a slight hanging line with the ball below her feet. Not the worst thing with a front right pin. Start it right edge of the TV towel. Just let it peel back a touch. Exactly what she was going for, but a good safe play to the middle of the green. It's going to stay on the front level. That's going to have quite a bit of left to right in it. Dion, she's also got a hanging line, but from the right edge of the fairway. Again, same task. Can start it just right edge of that TV tower. If it drifts back towards the pin, great. If it doesn't, we're going to have a 20-footer. As long as you strike this right with a good number, it should be pin high. Good shot from your championship leader at the front with back-to-back birdies to open Saturday. So KLPGA Championship on the Korean Ladies Professional Tour. A1 ahead at the par 3 fifth. Pins all smack on the front of the green today, just 6 from the front edge. Very hard to get it to stop. You do pitch on a downslope, and that's about as good as you can do. Kyung. See the marker of Ban Shin-sil about 5 feet in front of her, so Shin-sil going to get a lucky learn off the putt of Kyung here. Going to be working downhill. And the back part of this 4th green does sort of tilt from back to front, so this one should move left. Roll there. It's always a sign of a good putter. You've got good pace, rolls that 18 inches past. If you miss, you do miss on the high side. I used to call it the professional side, the pro miss. It always has a chance of going in if it's staying on the high side of the cup. If the ball breaks off low on a breaking putt, there's almost no chance that it holds that line and works back up the hill and in. So it's a sign of a good putter there. Decent effort for Hyun Kyung, but only a par. Sung Yoo Jin, can she get it close to this front hole location on 5? You really have to say the only way to do it is to land it in the fringe, hope for a soft bounce, and let it just trickle on down. As good as she could do there, but it's going to release on just past where Yewon's is. Shin-sil earned anything off Hyun Kyung? No, that one's high and right too. Birdie par start for Bang. Winding left to righter for Han Jin-seon. Back at the 3rd. Good for pace. Just a little bit too much break. Top 20 last year at Dong Lakes at this championship. 19th for Daeyeon 12 months ago. Cruising along much better in 2023 though. Should just sneak a little right at the end. Too bad. Only played 10 events on the KLPGA Tour last year. Hasn't teed it up since the Shinmun Women's Classic in July. She has had issues with injury throughout the course of her career. Withdrew after making the cut at the Lotte Rent-A-Car Ladies Open. And a couple of top 20 finishes, including a 5th last week, so she's rounding into some form. And this is a very awkward spot for Kim Hye Lim at the 4th. Ball's almost at knee height, nestled down in the rough. She's gripping well down to the steel of the shaft on this club. Just no way to try and take on the green with that penalty area in front of her. Just having to poke that out forward and make 4 the hard way. Gale can just steady the ship here for a birdie to balance the books this Saturday afternoon. Oh yes, she can, and that's going to feel very good to Park Gale. 3-putt at the first, a nice birdie at the third. It's back to where she began the weekend at 7 under and within 1 of her playing partner and current championship leader Lee Daeyeon. Now Choi Ye-rim, not quite as a severe lie as Kim Hye Lim. Ball still above her feet and nestled down in the rough. But with a back pin, this isn't too bad. Just play for some release. Look at this. Superbly judged from Choi Ye-rim. It's a real underrated part of the game, reading lies, knowing when they're going to jump, knowing when they're going to come out dead. We go up ahead to 5, and Sung Yoo Jin with this left to right look for a birdie. Not at that pace. You saw Cho Ayan attempt to putt from right about that spot. It just seems to be break that the players are seeing that's just not there. Third shot now for Hye Lim after chopping out of that right slope. Still can escape with a 4. Too much spin there, but a nicely played shot. She's giving herself a chance. Year one. She's also looking quite a long ways left, and again, we haven't seen putts move that much. She hits this very softly. I don't think it's going to turn back. Oh wow, that really whipped at the hole. We're all struggling to read the greens here at Lakewood. There's a big confidence boost, that birdie back at 3. Gale back with the honour on 4. Kick on down into a relatively flat spot in the fairway. It's nice. Lee Daeyeon, third driver. You have to look just a little bit left of where Park Gale's ball has finished. So if she blows it a little bit right of it, could be up where Kim Hye Lim was. Looked a little steery. Does kick from right to left, and okay. This gets tangled up in the rough, but no problems. Shinsil at the 5th. After that hot start, cooled off a little bit with a couple of pars at 3 and 4. It's a big 9-iron from 144 meters. Oh, it's a huge 9-iron. My word, she's carried that onto the back section of the green. And to scramble away from 4 with a par, Kimmy Lim. That really small stance when she goes to make her practice strokes. And when she sets a putter in to actually hit it, she takes a far more conventional width stance. It's going to hang high. And a poor tee shot is going to cost Kimmy Lim a bogey. Just as quickly as she picked up a shot, she gives it straight back at 4. Hyun Kyung. That flatter ball flight, really, she has to take on the front fringe to get this close. She took it on, got a little bit of check as well. That's pretty good. Now you're in for a birdie to join Dion at 8 under par. Oh, that was a straight shove, a straight push. You could see it straight off the bat. Maybe a little bit of a peak as well. Left shoulder gets high, club face stays open. Julia Rim has been superb tee to green this week. The club in her hands right now has left her wanting on more than one occasion. Just going to be the par 4. Off the edge of the green here, got the flagstick out. Intentions are clear at the short 6th. It's only going to be the par. Last year's Kyochon Honey, Ladies Open champion. 2 wins back in 2022 for Ayan. Jin Seon also finding the right rough here on the 4th. Lee Daeon a little bit further up than Jin Seon. Park Gi-yeol safely down the right half of the fairway. All 3 players should have similar yardages in for their second shots. But as we saw with Choi Rim up ahead, it's all just going to come down to reading the lie. Obviously coming out of the rough, you're going to get a little bit more grasp between the club face and the ball. Sometimes that makes it want to squeeze out with a bit more topspin, as it were, a bit more release. Sometimes if you catch it off, if it's sitting up quite nicely in the rough and you just happen to catch it off the top of the club face, it just comes out dead. It flies maybe 10-15% shorter, a little bit higher as well, so you don't get any release. Now, the water really shouldn't come into play. It won't come into play, I'll say, for Jin Seon and Daeon. They seem to indicate that there's a bit of breeze sort of straight off the left, maybe helping off the left. It's not a bad thing with the hanging line, with the ball above her feet. It should cancel out what the slope naturally wants to do with this golf ball, i.e. sling it a little bit right to left. I like Choi Rim. She's definitely going to have to take maybe 5 yards off this. Just allow for a bit of a jump. If you're 20 feet short here, that's not bad, but you catch a flyer and you pitch it too far close to that hole, you run through the green and you don't leave yourself a lot of room to work with. Contact, but that's exactly what I was talking about. Catches the flyer, didn't read that right, and much depend on the lie there for Han Jin-seon. She's only got 5 paces from the back edge where that hole's cut today. It's one of those mental errors you just can't afford to make. Dayon was a little bit higher up that slope than Jin-seon's. She's a good thinker around the court. I don't expect her to make the same mistake here. So coming in a lot higher than Jin-seon's. Got that to land a little bit softer. It's just going to roll through onto the back fringe, but no damage done. Gayle, she can afford to be a little bit more aggressive with her line and her landing spot. Nice flat lie here in the fairway. Best effort. She's got another fairly lengthy birdie putt up a slope to come. Shinsil from the back of the 5th green. Going to be moving from left to right and just down a little tier about 2/3 of the way to the cup. Speed control's been very nice from Shinsil thus far on Saturday. I said she had to challenge that front fringe if she wanted to get it close. She did. She's got this slight downhill putt which will want to just drift a little left. She hit it. Oh, she hasn't. Here one. Up ahead out of this left rough. Half lob wedge. So good at these shots. Just scampers through. She'll definitely be chipping that one. Got a couple of imperfections between her and the hole. Certainly keen to take those out of play with a lofted option as Shinsil looks to clean up for her par at 5. No faffing about this time. Jin-seon, I have to think. Just want to open up that club face. Got to land this just on the green with a bit of check. Fringe grass a little bit unpredictable. If she's trying to bump it through that, could just stand up on her and come out dead. Got a little friendly kick forward, but a testy 5-footer remaining for Han Jin-seon to salvage a 4 at 4. Rim ahead at the 5th. I imagine this should be no more than an 8-iron for Choi. Oh, it's a 9-iron. Yep, sounds about the right club. Look for that front edge yardage. That's the magic number. Too short for Choi. So it's a pretty standard chip here. Keep that left side clearing. That's the issue with those fringes here. Just needed to land that a little bit further up. Just takes all the sting out of a chip shot or an iron shot for that matter. Now back at 4, Gale from the middle section, putting up the rise to his back tier. She was on the first. A little bit tentative. She's got a bit of a tester for her par now. So you've been. Looks to be a 8 or a 9-iron. Start that right and sling it back. You can see with that follow through. Oh, that's well done. It's going to take that slope, keep feeding. That's a beautiful shot. Very cleverly done by Son Ye-bin. Giving herself an excellent birdie look. Daeyeon. Just a couple of inches off the edge of the green. Understandably out with the putter, and you just see the sunlight breaking through the clouds in the distance. That's always a good sign. Should be able to get play completed this Saturday afternoon if the weather continues to improve. She has putted brilliantly through the early stages of day 3. Daeyeon. Simple tap in for par is going to keep her 1 clear at 8 under. She's the woman to catch right now at Lakewood Country Club. It looked very good to her all the way. It wasn't going to be traveling past the hole with pace. Great leg putt. Might even be a wedge for her. I think it's just going to be a 9 as well. Went after it pretty aggressively. Highest of the 3 ball flights. And, alright, good shot. A decent shot, I should say. Jin-seon to clean up for a messy 4. Okay, confidently hold. Good tidy up and down. That's going to keep her just a couple back of Lee Daeyeon. 6 under. Now Gale just wants to move a fraction to the right. But you certainly don't see her starting this one outside the hole. Just got to be hit with pace and conviction, these. Particularly on these slower surfaces. A lot of rainfall last night and all throughout this morning. Started outside the hole and pays the price. It's another 3-putt for Park Ki-yeol, but that also illustrates the point here at Lakewood. These greens are pretty big, and if you don't find the right sections, you can have a very frustrating day with the putter. So Ki-yeol slips out of a share of second, down alongside Han Jun-seon at 6 under, 2 behind the hard-charging Lee Da-yeon. Choi Ye-rim just off the front of the green at the 5th. Pretty flat chip, this one. Should want to go a little bit left for her. Yeah, well played. Hyun-kyung ahead at the 6th. Follow through there, trying to drive a low one in. You can see the intention, the execution. Maybe a 4 out of 10 there. Alim. Slight downhill, left to righter for the champion of 2022. Good putt, good effort. Top 3 on the leaderboard right now. It's just the players who have made the fewest mental errors and find themselves up at the top of the pile. Now this is Park Min-ji, a lady who's won a dozen times in the last 2 years, just making the turn. Start the day at 1 under, this to go out in 34. Rolling nicely and rolling in for Park Min-ji. She's within 5 if she hits the back 9. Couple of birdies on 7 and 9, taking the Korean #1 just into the fringes of the title picture. Come on, Son Ye-bin. Very clever tee shot. Can she capitalize? Oh, that's just rude. That is unpleasant. They called it golf because all the other 4-letter words were already taken. It's a cruel game at times. Ye-rim to tidy things up and keep that scorecard squeaky clean. Yep, good up and down. Up by 1. 200 and bogey free for her day. Back on the 15. There's a bit of elevation to deal with here. 20 feet or so. So it plays maybe a club downhill, maybe a club and a half. Particularly quickly to this front hole location. Don't expect Daeyeon to take on the same kind of shot that Hyun Kyung or Son Ye-bin tried. The only real danger you could run into on this hole is if you take on that shot where you try to challenge that front fringe, you don't quite hit it solid, you end up short. That greenside bunker becomes a real test, so look for her to carry this at least pin high. Just make sure she's got a putt from past it. Miss hit, but that's not going to be too challenging. We venture ahead to the drivable par 4-6. Well, drivable if you're someone by the name of Bang Shin-sil. Remember, yesterday drove it pin high and left it in a very awkward spot. So I had to come over the brow of that bunker. She's challenged the green again today. Leaked it a little bit further right, but it's a far simpler shot she's left herself than the one she had from, what was it, 25 meters yesterday? Ample green to work with here. Options abound. Does she want to sort of scoot one in low with a bit of spin, or sort of play a more normal trajectory shot, or bump it up in the stance as she's doing and try and float a high one in with a little bit of release at the end. She's chosen well. I think she's chosen really well. Good shot there from Bang Shin-sil. Jin-seon. Goes a little deep here on Jin-seon. Right to the back edge of the green. A pretty long and lengthy birdie, but safely on the dance floor for the 24-year-old Haiwan Resorts Ladies Open champion. Park Gi-yeol. It's never easy sleeping on the lead. Remember, it's been 5 years since she won on the KLPGA Tour at the Sukkyong Ladies Networks Classic. Bit of unfamiliar territory for Gi-yeol. You talk to players who contend week in, week out on not just the KLPGA Tour, but any major golf tour for that matter, and they say it's just never an easy sleep, no matter how many times you do it. It's just a case of learning to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. She's going to take a lot of experience and a lot of positives from the way that she's handled herself through the first 2 rounds here at Lakewood, and that's going to be a welcome sight. It's even better than Son Ye-bin's tee shot. She needs to start stringing good shots together, Park Gi-yeol. Good chance for the immediate bounce back upcoming for Gi-yeol at the 5th. Currently trailing her playing partner and championship leader Lee Daeyeon by 2. Daeyeon's ball just short of this 5th green. Bang Shin-sil in tight for birdie at 6. A chance to join Daeyeon at the top of the board in a couple of moments' time. As we've had 2 weather delays today for the 3rd round, but we're back and we're playing golf at Lakewood. Now, Hyun Kyung at the 6th. Just carry the fringe, let it trickle on down. Too bad. It's a great hole, the 6. It's not really a drivable hole, as it were. Certainly not from this tee box in these conditions, but it's over 317 meters. But it's not a gimme birdie. It forces players to have to hit good shots, to think their way around the angles of how do you want to attack this sharp dog leg right to left. So you go up to the par 5 7th, and looks to be Lee Ye-won. It's a reachable par 5 this. E1's just going to be in between those two greenside bunkers. It does open up the angle for a third shot beautifully. The entire width of the green to play with. Now Shinsil. Good look here to tie Dion at the top of the board once again. Oh, my goodness. Saw that from Son Yebin's putt about 5 minutes ago. That's cruel. Shortest hole in the golf course. Bang Shinsil's been green high twice and she's walked off with par both times. Dion will remain in sole possession of the lead at 8 under. This is a very simple chip here. Should just kick a little left and feed towards the hole once it hits the green. It's okay. Try your rim. 8 and 6. Do not want to miss this pin right. She's laid up quite a long ways back, 92 meters left, but a nice full gap wedge left for Choi. A pretty good shot. One doesn't take her chance to go to 8 under. We'll see if the other at 7, Choi Rim, can at the 6th. Jin Seon, long putt from the back half of the 5th. Gently moving left to right in the second half of this 50-footer. It's on a pretty good line. It certainly had excellent pace. Really good putt from Han Jin Seon. She'll tidy up for simple par 3. 5 pars to start the third round for Han Jin Seon. She hasn't lost much ground. Currently in a share of 4th, 2 behind. Jin. 3rd to the 7th. He's cut tight to that right edge of the green. A couple of very good shots there. Sung Yu Jin. Choi Ye-bon. Now Alim has to go into the 6th. Quite a bit up there. Not sure she can get as much zip on this as she would have liked, so we'll still have to allow for a bit of a big first kick. She'll be able to stop it pretty quickly. It's just not going to pull back on her. Not bad. So 3 decent birdie looks. Kim Hye Lim, Son Ye-bin, and Choi Ye-rim upcoming at the short 6th. Gale. It's been a bit of a topsy-turvy day. This one to send her back into a share of 2nd. Oh, well done, Park Gale. 2 birdies, 2 bogeys, and just the par at the 2nd. She stays at 7 under. Hard, is she? Should go a little bit left here for Yebin. Agonizingly close once more. Only made half her cuts this season, but coming off a top 15 finish last week at the Next Sensate 9 Masters, closed with a 68, went to a share of 14th, currently 76th on the money list. Now year one. Slight downhill lie will help here to lower the trajectory of this pitch shot, get it chasing on a little bit more. Chasing on a bit too much. Oh, that was uncharacteristically clumsy from Lee Ye-won. Dion. Should just be a fairly straightforward inside right edge putt to preserve a one-shot cushion. Okay. Has it put a foot wrong today? Lee Dion. It's by one. She heads to the 6th tee. Up to the 6th green. Well, there could be company at the top of the leaderboard. Choi Ye-rim with this opportunity to find a second birdie of the day and to join Dion at 8 under par. It's just going to move a little left around that halfway point. Oh, just catches a piece of it. And there's parity at the top of the leaderboard. Choi Ye-rim joins Lee Dion at 8 under par. Back on the tee, Gale. The real dilemma with this tee shot is you're going to take off a big chomp of this dogleg. You have to challenge the sort of clump of trees on the left-hand side. When you bail out from that with drive and you leak it right, doesn't leave you a great angle for your pitch shot to this right pin. Looked like a pretty good committed golf swing. And that's just going to find the first cut for Park Gale. Dion. Don't think she knows it. Would not have updated that scoreboard in time for her. And the walk up to 60, but she's tied. Nice tee shot there, straight down the center stripe. We've seen Ye-bin and Ye-rim's putts. She knows what this does. It's just a case of trusting that line and executing. Should be just outside right edge. Well hold. Nice birdie for Kim Ae-lim. That's her back to 6 under. Ye-won ahead at 7. She will be mightily disappointed to not birdie this hole after leaving her second in such a wonderful position. She's going to have to can this 20-footer though. It's not going to drop. Well, it's right on about 2 feet, a little longer than she would have liked. Cho Ah-yeon. Second into the 8th. Into that narrow front portion of the green. 7 from the left edge. But Cho Ah-yeon showing us why she was the 2019 Rookie of the Year. Another pin seeker from Ah-yeon. Sung Yoo-jin. 7th, laid up with a second shot, played a nice wedge to here. It's to head to 5. loses steam and falls off low for Sung Yu Jin. She was mixing it up in the Chevron Championship last week as well. Ultimately falling short to Honda LPGA Thailand champion and now major champion Lilia Vu. What a season Lilia Vu is having in the women's game. For the first time today, going to be first to play in this group. See that pin there? It looks like it's in the middle of the green, but that right edge is only, what, 5 paces right of it, or long right of it. If you're just a little off with your yardages here, you could find yourself in a bit of a fiddly spot. And the last couple of iron shots, Han Jin Seon is it, have missed long. I think that's in the back of her mind as she ponders the shot required on 6. Well, caddy's been called in for a second opinion here. Just a reconfirmation of the yardages. We saw from Kim Hye Lim's bounce that it is a little bit firm. It's a downhill slope about 20 feet short of this hole. Just got to be mindful of that. Wasn't going to go long this time. Not bad. Yeah, one. With a little knee knocker here for par at 7. Okay. Safely brushed in by the 19-year-old rookie of the year. Gale. To her credit, she's actually hit the ball quite nicely today. The bogeys have come from 3 putts, and that's just because she's left herself with very long putts in the bad section of the green. Sitting nicely in the first cut of rough on 6, though. So I just don't want to go long here. Judged. Good, smart shot for Park Gae-yeol. She sneaks it inside the ball of Han Jin Seon. Daeyeon. It's easy to think that she's an underrated golfer because we just see so little of her. Remember, only played 10 events back in 2022, out for most of the season with injury. Even when she's fighting fit, hardly ever plays more than 20-22 events a year. She's got a stellar wedge game, as so many of the South Korean pros do. Very simple action, good angles, good aggressive turn through the ball. It's very good distance control as well. Case in point, right there. Excellent second. Daeyeon, who's looking to stick her nose out in front once again. Big old tee shot from Bang Shin-sil on the 7th. And, well, that's an iron in hand. Can she get there with an iron? Does she think she can? Oh, who am I to judge? That is an outstanding golf shot for Bang Shin-sil, showing absolutely no fear, playing with oodles of confidence. She's left herself an eagle putt to get to 9 under. As Cho Ayana hit at the 8th, looks to brush this one in to get to 5 under par. Well done, Cho Ayan. Final group just sizing up their birdie looks here. It will be Hanjin Sion first to go. Just on the angle from where she's putting from. And a lot of these putts, I find you've got a lot of these putts at Lakewood. They've cut these whole locations in the first 3 rounds. You could have a putt from some 15, maybe 20 feet away. It's just a tiny ridge between you and the hole. It's about 6 feet in front of where Hanjin Sion is. And we'll want to make the ball stake a little more to the right. It's quite an easy read, this one, because it looks so flat when you're walking up to the green. You stand behind your ball, when you first read it, and you go, oh, hang on a minute. Surely that's going to do something to this. It's going to move a little left to start, and then try and wander back to the right at the end. There's that movement to the right. Birdie to be found at 6 for the 24-year-old. Now Hyun Kyung just laid it up handy on the 7th. She got it a pretty long ways down there. We saw a pretty clumsy shot from Lee Ye-won. Don't expect we'll see the same from Hyun Kyung. Drive that one in low and spinning hard to the right. A bit of release on it, and she clearly knows best because that was brilliantly judged. Chance to get to 6 for Hyun Kyung at the 7th as we go back to the 6th and Park Gi-yeon. See if she's learned anything from Hanjin Sion's exploratory effort a couple of moments ago. A little better, just could have done with a bit more pace. Now Ye-won at the 8th, out of the right rough to that front pin position. Can afford to land this maybe 2-3 yards on the green, should get some release. Very nicely judged. So Dayon to hit the front by herself once more. A little dive left about a foot out. And unfortunately for Lee Dayon, lovely second shot is not going to yield a birdie. Also on the 8th, Cho Ye-bon. Well, took a double bogey at the 4th. Just coming off a birdie at 7, and she's going to get back to where she began this weekend at 4 under par in just a couple of moments' time. Hanjin Sion looking to tidy this one up for about 2.5 feet. Centre cup, never in doubt for Hanjin Sion. At one point Friday afternoon had it to 4 under par. Took a couple of stumbles, bounced back nicely on her back nine, and now she gets to 4 under par again, heading to the back nine on Saturday afternoon. Good time to find your first birdie as you head to the turn. Hasn't won since the 2021 Hanwha Classic at Jade Palace. It was a terrific back nine duel with Park Ju-young. Let's have a lift the trophy. Okay, steady par. Sil for an eagle 3, which would see her leapfrog Daeyeon at the top of the board. Oh, what a 3 for Bang Shin Sil at the 7th. That's her second eagle of the week, and now it sees the 18-year-old climb to the summit of the leaderboard at 9 under par. 3:30 p.m. on the 29th of April 2023, Bang Shin Sil leads for the first time in her career at a major championship on the KLPGA Tour. Year one, trying to keep pace. Is it going to come back? No, it's not. For a birdie. You've made a birdie, but you've lost ground. She's 3 behind Bang Shin Sil, her playing partner, the 18-year-old, upstaging the veterans on moving day here at Lakewood. Waited for the green to clear. Did Choi Rim. She reckons she can get there. We'll be looking at a little bit left though. And water all the way up the right-hand side of the 7th. All kinds of trouble there. Plenty of room left. Today's pin, even that left bunker is not a horrible miss. Sounded a little bit necky, like she's caught that off the heel. Okay, that's perfect now. Just front edge of the green. She could putt that, she could chip that. She'll certainly look to get that one up and down. Kim Hee-lin, predominantly one of the longest hitters in South Korea, only needs a hybrid here for her second. With her height, she could afford to take a slightly more aggressive line at the hole. Maybe 25 feet left of it. Certainly will be able to carry it all the way onto the green if she makes good contact with it. Gave that a little extra oomph. How's it for line? Pretty good. Just going to roll onto the back fringe. That's 2 good shots from Choi Ye-rim and Kim A-lim at the 7th, but an eagle from Bang Shin Sil in the group ahead. I've seen her now move 1 clear at 9 under. As up ahead, Choi Ye-bon looks to tap this one in for birdie at 8. Very nicely done. So after that double at 4, back-to-back birdies at 7 and 8. See Choi Ye-bon get back to 4 under par and, more importantly, back inside the top 10. Can reach in 2, but it requires a good tee shot. You see the leaves and the trees rustling there. The breeze is starting to pick up once again. And straight off the left as Gale stands on this 7th tee. Just pitched in the rough, but will kick forward onto the fairway, so not bad. Back on 6. She probably didn't know she was in a tie for the lead. I doubt she knows that she's now trailing. She's eyeing this one up intently. Maybe she's just admiring it because that is perfect down the left side of the fairway. Should be able to reach in 2. It's further up along the hole. Son Yebin. This is her 3rd shot. It's always an awkward one, pitching over water from short range. She has made a wonderful fist of that. Still yet to record a birdie this afternoon. Son Yebin. That was an aggressive layup. Just a lucky second shot. Didn't quite get all of it. She's left herself a birdie look nonetheless at the 7th. Jin Seon, last to go in the final group, back on the tee. Just rolls into that first cut of rough. Han Jin Seon, no problems though. Yerim should be putting this one. No sense to have to chip this. It's a good 60 feet away. Pretty flat for the first 30 feet or so, then starts to slowly work its way up the hill. It'll be really slow the last couple of feet. Pace looks pretty good. The pace is excellent. That's super from Choi Ye-rim. This ding-dong battle at the top continues to rage on. Ye-rim moments away from joining Shin Sil at that 9 under par total. Dayon back in the fairway. Could be 3 tied again. We had 4 tied at the start of the day for Park Gaeol's birdie at her opening hole. Still the 18-year-old out in front for the moment as Hyun Kyung gets set for her 2nd into the 8th. Seen a couple of good ones into this front pin. That's not one of them. That's a real loose one from Park Hyun Kyung. This is it left in that grassy bunker. Now Kim Ae-lim. Slightly different putt to Choi Ye-rim's, it has to be said. Coming straight down the hill and bending to the right. Hard to convince yourself to hit this kind of putt hard enough. So much of it is pace dependent, and all things considered, that's a pretty good effort there. Championship leader Bang Shin-sil. Iron game has been spot on today. An excellent tee shot. Nice full pitching wedge left. Oh, is she swinging it well, or is she swinging it well? Another beautiful wedge shot from Bang Shin-sil. Another putt inside of 6 feet for birdie. Could she get to double digits under par in just a couple of moments? Hwang Yo-min being lapped by her former Team Korea teammate. She's back at 3 under par, but this for a birdie at the 9th. 35 to the turn for Hwang Yo-min. It's to 4 under. She's had a couple of chances on this front 9. Sloppy bogey at 4, but well, hanging around. You expect her to do week after week. Gale, see what she faces there. You know there's trouble lurking on the right-hand side. I think she can get all the way to the green. Quite sure what she has left, but sitting up okay in the rough, but will definitely have to look left here. Do not bring the water into play. Nicely played shot. So awkward from back there. Can't really see a landing area. You know there's trouble there. She's dissected the layup area. Jin Seon from the right half of the fairway should be able to see the layup spot from where she is here. Ball settling down just a touch. Probably get the front edge of the green. Second shot does play a little bit downhill. Like Gale, electing to lay back there. Son Ye-bin ahead on the green for her 4. Okay, that's a good birdie. Balances the books for this 3rd round. Son Ye-bin, it's back to 5 under. Kim from that little depression left of the 8th green. Not easy this. Trying to kill it in the fringe and have it trickle on. Pretty well played shot. But about an 8-foot comeback of a par for Hyun Kyung. He's kind of been stuck in a bit of... She's been in neutral gear for most of the day. Yes, she's had 2 birdies, but hasn't really threatened, has she? A-Lim to get to 7 under. Such a huge advantage. Nice birdie for A-Lim. It's the 2 under for her day. And 2 of Shin-sil. Try the rim for the moment. He's going to tie the lead. And Shin-sil at 9 under par. 3 under for her day. Some terrific scores being posted around Lakewood on moving day, but it's Bang Shin-sil who's 4 under through 7 with a look to get to 5 under. He's got the best round going. Daeyeon going for this in 2. Ooh. Bit Tigeress there. Pulled the trigger and then stepped off it. Maybe a negative thought crept into the head. Stand back, refocus, and go again. It's on a terrific line. Has it got the number? Oh, you bet it does. Very nice shot from Lee Daeyeon. Just through the green in 2 at the par 5 7th. Now Hyun Kyung will putt for par before Shin-sil putts for birdie. And very good from this range, Park Hyun Kyung, throughout her young career. She's going to need to make this. Don't want to let the youngster get too far ahead. clumsy. Middle of the fairway, you walk off with a 5. You cannot afford to do that. Not if you want a third KLPGA Championship. So drop shot for Hyun Kyung. Slides her back to 5 under par. Bang Jin-sil. Relatively straightforward birdie look here to be the first player this week to reach double digits under par and to once again get her nose out in front on this congested leaderboard. Oh, that was a nervy looking stroke. First real sign of nerves we've seen from her today. It was a sparkling iron shot. And that could be cause for concern for Bang Jin-sil. Seen her have some issues with the putter in the past. Bang Jin-sil by no means out of it. Back at 6 under. But just needs to get something going. 6 straight pars to start her day. Best wedge from 78 meters. It's one of those days for Han Jin-sil. She hasn't done much wrong, but she really hasn't done much right either. So a couple of moments ago, Junyu Ri just birdied 9, and she'll chip in for birdie to start her back 9. Very nicely done indeed from Junyu Ri. Barely kept her card at the end of last season, 59th on the money list. Park Gi-yeol, for so much of her career, never lost her card, but always seemed to be battling towards the end of the season. Kept it with ease last year, after getting it back at Q School at the end of 2021. First time she's lost her card, the only time she's ever lost her playing privileges on tour. She finds herself in great position. She never have to worry about that for the next 5 years. 5-year exemption. Tour comes with a major win. 72 meters to go here. Oh, that's a very bold shot. Nicely played from Park Gi-yeol. So he could cruise to a very healthy paycheck here. 234 million Korean won. Up top for the champion out of the 1.3 billion prize purse. So we'll have to settle for 4 at 8. Doesn't look too bothered, which is usually a good sign. Back to the 9th in year 1. Looking to try and get something going. Day for year 1, a bit like Han Jin-sil. Really been able to get anything going. But 1 under and bogey free to the turn for the rookie of the year back in 2022. 4 under par, well, that's 5 adrift. Now Dayon. There's a hefty amount of swing from left to right in this. You see that? It's a darker green spot halfway between Dayon and the hole. That's a mound there that will shoot the ball to the right. So she'll have to come up and over it. Will gather pace as it continues to bend right towards the hole. I always say this. The great Bobby Jones once was quoted saying that speed is 4 times more important than line. Never been truer here as Dion steps over this eagle look at 7. She take a 2-putt birdie though. That'll move her back into a share of the lead. That is bang on perfect pace for Lee Dion. Still about 3 feet to go, just under that. We should see 3 names share the top of the leaderboard once again. Son Ye-bin hit at 8. That right rough. Just don't miss this green left. That's going to get a nice friendly roll back off the slope. Very well done. Good intelligent shot. So Jin-seon. Left to right look at birdie here, but not a putt she wants to get too heavy-handed with. It can get away from her if she's not careful. Good roll there. It's going to be yet another par. Yerim. Slightly above her feet. That should be a comfortable look to try and get to this left pin position. At the front right corner of the green. Let it work its way in from there. Ooh, no, that's the wrong side of that slope, but doesn't roll down to where Park Hyun-kyung was, so not a terribly complicated chip shot. Now, come on, Gail. Let's try and get something going. 2 drop shots against 2 birdies today, but she's never been under par at any point in this 3rd round. This to get into red figures for the first time on Saturday. Stay up, stay up. Oh. I'd like to say that was a good effort, but it just never looked like it was hit with enough conviction. It was sort of more hit in hope than expectation. It's going to do no damage to her scorecard, though, apart at the 7th. 2 holes left to go on this front 9. Alim looking off a couple of back-to-back birdies at 6 and 7 as she steps into this at 8. Beautiful shot from Kim Ae-lim. Make that 3 in a row for the defending champion, who is marching her way up the leaderboard. So Lee Dae-yeon, it looked like only about 3 feet left. It's closer to 5 from this camera angle. But it's a birdie look nonetheless, and it's one you feel she should have in her back pocket. That's where she's got that line lined up to. Well done. Nice 2-putt. A trio of leaders once again. Lee Dae-yeon with a second birdie on a par 5 this 3rd round. Joins Yerim and Shin-sil. Don't look now, but the defending champ Kim Lim is only one back after her third birdie in a row takes her to 8 under par. Big names stacking up at the business end of the leaderboard. We've got a teenager in Bang Shin Sil. We've got a veteran in Park Geol. Fascinating storylines developing as we head into tomorrow's championship Sunday final round. And Bang Shin Sil, how good are her irons been this week? I mean, that's just another one. And there's a look of nonchalance about her as she sort of reaches for the putter. Oh, got another 10-footer for birdie. Oh, got another 6-footer for birdie. I mean, if that club heats up and she continues to play the way that she's been playing, she could be nigh uncatchable tomorrow. Of course, everything changes in the heat of Sunday pressure. Choi Ye-rim will tell you that. Took her a while to get her first win. Got that last year. But that's a touch clumsy from Ye-rim. Okay, Lee Da-yeon now. Back on 8T. Seen the right rough get a lot of action today, but that's certainly the better side of the fairway to miss on with today's front left pin. Middle of the fairway once more for Lee Da-yeon. Excellent with the driver. Park Geol very much in this thing, and you know what? Just thinking psychologically, Park Geol losing the lead may not necessarily be a bad thing. Again, when you come into a round as the leader, you've got expectation, you've got attention, you've got pressure on you. If you start the final round chasing, maybe it's just that sort of freewheeling attacking spirit that she needs to start putting some birdies together. She's only 2 back. That's a good swing there from Geol. Da-yeon up the center stripe. Son Ye-bin for back-to-back birdies. Yeah, well done. Starting to string them together, Son Ye-bin. Choi Ye-rim for her par. To stay in a tie for the lead. Oh, and like Park Hyun-kyung, that one slips off on the left-hand side. And it's an untimely first bogey of Saturday for Choi Ye-rim. That'll slide her out of that 2-3-way tie for the lead. Bogey 5 for Choi. Drops back to 8. Hyun-kyung from the back of 9. Line left much to be desired, but pretty good for pace. On the outward half of Hyun-kyung. She brushes that one in without incident. Som at the 10th. It's Kim Min Bio, beg your pardon. He's had a bit of a rough go. 3 straight bogeys at the front 9, but that's her second birdie in 4 holes. Gets her back to 2 under and inside the top 20, looking for a 4th straight top 10 to start her rookie season. The KLPGA Tour has never been done before. Lie won last year, recorded 13 top 10s in her rookie campaign. Shinsil, another look to get to 10 under. She's powered it through the break, and she has given herself so many opportunities. I mean, she's still going to turn in 4 under par, don't get me wrong. That's a very solid effort. And Saturday at a major championship, think about the putts that she's let slide. On 3, on 4, on 8. Again on 9. It's a game of ifs, isn't it? It's a very little word with a very big meaning. As my good friend and colleague Kate Burton would always say. Hyun. Don't want to give the hole away from this range. Be just inside the right lip. Okay, 35 to the turn for the champion of 2020 and 2021. Shinsil's misses are keeping Park Hyun and company very much in it. 4 shots between them, which, as we all know, is nothing. With 27 holes to go at a major. Just got to give this one lots of attention. Remember, 4 whacked the 18th, her 9th hole of the day yesterday. It's not going to be the same today. Brilliant front 9 for Bang Shin-sil. Turns in 32. Tied for the lead with Lee Dae-yeon. Park Gi-yeol back in the fairway. Sets to play her second into the 8th. Quite a severe hook lie, this one. Just have to look right of the TV tower, allow for some sling here. So again, you don't want to short side yourself left. Hyun and Yerim both dropping shots from the left side of this 8th green. Just hangs up there. Okay. It's not the end of the world, but just going to have to be careful there. It's pretty slick. Flatter looking lie than Park Gi-yeol. Still, got to give this respect. Got to look out a little bit wrong. Just gonna stay up, will it? Just about, okay. Son Yibin at the 9th. A bit of a run here. Did I say a bit of a run? That for 3 in a row round the turn for Son Yibin. Well, the action has come thick and fast on Saturday. Bang Shin-sil, the 18-year-old rookie, shares the lead with 2-time major champion Lee Dae-yeon. Lim Kim, the defending champ, sits 1 back with Choi Ye Rim and Park Gi-yeol, the overnight leader, despite some early struggles, is hanging tough at 7 under par. birdie look here coming up the slope. Junyu Ri at 11 for 3 in a row. And don't look now, Junyu Ri putting together a bit of a run here. Birdies at 9, 10, and now 11. Well, they're going to take her to 6 under. Gale. Okay, this one's going to be quick. Just want to stab this onto that downslope. It'll trundle out. Almost trundled in. Nicely judged little chip and run there from Gale. Back to the 9th. Kim Lim just coming up a little short, a club short with that second shot. As a result, we're putting up that little tier to the back pin position. Settle down, settle down. Not bad, but not exactly a gimme. Dion would love a result like Gale's. Just want to drop this about 3 feet on. It'll land in a downslope and go scuttling on down to the hole. Easy, easy, pretty good. Rim. Second shot to here. This for birdie to recover the shot she just dropped back at 8. Head to the turn in a tie for the lead. So go right on her. Low all the way for Rim. So a little disappointing. Dropping a shot at 8 and only a par on 9, but not with half of 34. We'll see her head to the back nine Saturday. 8 under par. Han Jin-seon. This is where she opens her account for this third round. Downhill right to left her for birdie at the 8th. Oh yes. Well, she's been patient all afternoon, and Han Jin-seon's first birdie of the day moves her into the top 5 and within 2 of Yapera leaders. For Son Ye-bin, this would move her into a share of 5th as well. This for 3 in a row. And to head to the back 9 in 34 strokes. Beautifully done. And the birdies are coming in bunches at Lakewood now. That's 3 on the spin for Son Ye-bin. Dion back at 8. Just to tidy things up for her 4 and to stay squeaky clean through the first 8 holes. Get up and down. Stays tied with Shin Sil. And Aylin with this little slider to go out at 33. Beautifully read and nicely rolled in for Kim Aylin. 4 birdies against the drop shot. Out in 33 to the matching 34s of playing partners Ye-rim and Ye-bin. Good scoring of that penultimate group, but this is the lady on a bit of a charge at the back 9. Junyu Ri, birdie at 9, chip in at 10, a long one at 11. She's found her way to the 12th tee. The Pin tucked all the way in the back left corner of this deep green. That's okay, it's pin high, but it's a good 50 feet away. Should be putting across a little ridge as well. Back out to the 9th tee, and for the first time today, Han Jin-seon with the honor. Just going to stay in the first cut. Might have nestled up against the secondary cut of rough, which could make that second shot a little bit interesting. Certainly you're going to miss the 9th fairway. That's the side you want to be on with today's pin position. Dion has driven it very nicely today. Don't believe she's missed a fairway. 6 for 6 through the first 8 holes. Such great rhythm with that golf swing. It's good and snappy through the hitting area, but kind of the time transition, the change of direction at the top of the swing remains perfect off the tee. Up to the back 9 and the second shot of Bang Shin-sil into the 10th. Given the way she's hit these clubs, at the risk of the commentator's curse, surely this one won't be worse than 10 feet. You blame that one on me, Shin-sil. Probably the worst iron shot she's hit today. That tee shot, that was probably a club and a half too long. Back at the 5th. Gale. A bit of a big kick, and that one going to finish in the first cut up the left as well. Hwang Yo-min, 19 years of age, 1 under for the day. Chua Yan just behind her, 2 under and bogey free, and well, Kim Min Byul, the rookie, she's 1 over on the day, but on a bit of a comeback. Yeomin on the 11th as this uphill right to left look for a birdie. To get her to 5 under par. Don't think she's hit it. Nah. It's just been a little bit untidy for Hwang Yo-min. Giving herself half-decent chances, but you just feel she's not so grabbing them by the scruff of the neck, not staying aggressive enough. Yuri canned one from a little bit longer than this back at 11, up and over that ridge for birdie at 12. This was traveling with some speed. Set down, sit down. Oh, well, she's putted it off the edge of the green there. Well, nothing stops momentum like a clumsy rush of blood to the head putt like that. As we go back to Park Gi-yeol's second shot on 9. Sitting up nice in the first cut. Just want to make sure you get it onto that back tier of the green. It's an 8 iron from 145. Quite going to make it up to the back level, but that slope isn't too severe to deal with for Gael as Shinsil lines this 25-footer up for birdie at 10. Could attack that putt coming downhill, so closing it up there nicely. Good pace. Jinseon looks like that ball's a bit exactly up against the collar of the second cut, but I need to steepen up the angle of attack a little bit here. Just make sure she clips the ball first. She gets a little stuck on the inside. Smother with some blades of grass. Certainly made good contact with it. How's your distance control? Pretty good. Yeah, nicely played from Han Jin-seon. Not easy, that shot. Perfect position in the middle of the fairway. She can pretty much throw it just past the ridge that splits this green into the back level in front. She'll get some spin on this. That was a club short. It's trying to climb its way up there, but it's a bit of a misjudgment for Lee Daeon. She knows it. Yuri for par after putting her birdie look off the green to this point. Great effort. That's going to be a drop shot. Just killing that momentum of the 3 birdies in a row. She slips back to 5 under. Cho Ayan at 11. Chance to get to 6 under here. Well done. Don't look now, the 2019 Rookie of the Year. She's making a bit of a move. Sort of flown under the radar today with the heroics of Lee Daeon and this young lady, Bang Shin-sil. But Cho Ayan is slowly inching her way up the leaderboard. Shin-sil taps in for her par at 10. Looks like it. It's going to be Park Gi-yeol first to putt here. Just sort of the base of that little rise up to the back half of this green. Daeon just at the top crest of it. Jin-seon sort of pin high left. Pretty big putting surfaces here at Lakewood. Averaging about almost 40 paces in depth. You have to be in the correct sections to make yourself decent birdie looks. It's all about pace for Gael. Remember, her only drop shots so far today have come from 3 putts. This for a birdie at 9. Up the hill, moving to her left. Settle down, settle down. Uh-oh. There's that range putt again for Park Geol, and well, doesn't she just know it? Son Yebin. 3 birdies to the turn. Second shot now to 10, looking to keep that run going. Nice sounding contact, good compression. Gets a friendly kick off the shoulder. And she's got that for 4 in a row to get to within 1. Remember, she started the slowest of anyone on that first page of the leaderboard, dropping a shot early at 2, waited till the 7th to find her first birdie, and she's reeled off a couple more since. Just pin high left here. Pretty flat putt. And you don't see this one doing too much break-wise. You just get the sense she could go on a bit of a run like Son Yebin or Kim A. Lim, but she's going to need to make a couple of these. Hasn't really peppered targets today. Geol's putt spooked her, because that one's come up well short. Choi Rim looks like she's just in a thickish lie in the left rough here on 10. She has a bit of a backstop, just long right of this pin. It's not as difficult a shot as it would look from 120. Uses that stop nicely. Good shot from Choi Rim. Dion. Could she possibly be the first to 10 under par this week? It's a nice looking putt for her. Breaks from right to left. So touch tentative with the pace. We'll have to spot that one. Can't finish it up. We'll be standing on Han Jin Seon's line. Now Kim A. Lim. Left half of the fairway. Perfect angle to attack this front right pin position. That's just 5 from the right edge. Just gets hung up in the fringe. Choi Yebon to get under par for the first time this third round. Curl it in the middle. It's a third birdie and 5 holes for Choi Yebon. 5 under par. Congested. That's a fair way of describing this leaderboard right now, because it certainly is. Now come on, Park Geol. Roll this one in for a par. Yeah, it's more like it. Good 2-putt. That'll give her some confidence. It was a rough start with that 3-putt at the first, but she'll head out an even par 36. Only trails by 2 as we go up ahead to 10, and Kim A. Lim with this right to lefter. She's electing to putt this one. A gentle slope, moving to her left. That one back. That was a 3 out of 10 at best for a player of A. Lim's ability. Now, Sung Yoo-jin to get to 5 under par herself. Yeah, nicely done. So birdies for Yebon and Yoo-jin at the par 5 11th. Both of them moving inside the top 10. Han Jin-seon for her par. Okay, tickles that one in over the front edge. Bogey-free front 9, but only the one birdie coming at 8 for Han Jin-seon. At the moment, 14 players within 5 shots of the lead. Yebin to get within 1, but that's not the right line. So the string of birdies comes to an end at 10 for Son Yebin. She'll head to the 11th tee at 8 under. Lee Daeon, after a very good outward half of 33, will head to the 10th tee to start her back 9 at 9 under par in a tie for the lead with the teenage sensation Bang Shin-sil. Choi Ye-rim could make it a trio if this one goes to start her back 9 at 10. 3 at the top once again. Choi Ye-rim on a topsy-turvy Saturday at Lakewood returns to a share of the lead courtesy of her 4th birdie of the round. That means Kim Hye-lim is all alone in 4th at 8 under. And she has this par putt to keep things that way. Convincing stroke. Well, she's still going to be in 4th, but she's going to be in a 4-way tie for 4th with Yebin, Geol and Han Jin-seon. A costly bogey at 10 to start Kim Hye-lim's inward trek. Shin-sil setting up over this 3rd shot into the 11th. Probably the 1 par 5 she can't reach in 2 here. And she's not going to find the green in 3 either. She's played the par 5s in 3 under so far today, but she's short-sided there at the long 11th. Well, as the final group of the afternoon hit their back 9, it's been a captivating display of golf this Saturday afternoon at Lakewood Country Club. That'll just about do it for our coverage here on day 3. If you want to follow along with the scores, head over to the KLPGA's official website, klpga.co.kr. For the moment, as we leave you, it's Bang Shin-sil, Lee Daeon, and Kim and Choi Ye-rim, who share the lead at 9 under par. Hye-lim, Yebin, Geol, and Han Jin-seon. They sit 2 shots back in a share of 4th. Do stay tuned for more action from Lakewood. We'll bring you the final round of the 45th KLPGA Championship. Same time, same place tomorrow. Who are we going to crown as the first major titleist of 2023? Why don't you join us tomorrow and find out? Until then, this is Timothy Lowe saying goodbye for now, and we'll see you tomorrow.
팀이에요.
예.
힘내야 됩니다.
현재 공동 선두 그룹과는 2타 차의 격차가 생겨 있는 박결입니다. 올 시즌을 앞두고 뭐 메인 스폰서부터 시작해서 의류 후원사, KD 클럽 정말 모든 것들이 다 바뀐 박결인데요.
네, 10번을 티샷은 좋았어요.
예.
하겠습니다. 처음에 먹고 빨리 맞추고